Hey guys, got another Tip Tuesday video for you today. In this video, I'm going to talk about how you don't necessarily need the best quality products like what I sometimes have here on A1 Blackjack. But in order to get started, you really just need the will to do it, all right? You need the motivation, and you need to decide that that's what I'm going to do. All right, I have a 5-pound weight, and you're probably wondering why in the world do you have a 5-pound weight on your blackjack table? And the reason is if I kind of push these cards off to the side here, again, those are from Casino Supply, and we'll talk more about them later. But when I first started out, I didn't have any fancy shoes or discard trays or things like that you might see now on my channel, but I actually made my own. All right. If you are an OG member, you may have seen this in some of my old videos. This is made out of a cardboard box that I cut up and folded so that cards perfectly fit, or maybe as best they can, perfectly fit kind of down the chute here. And I had a little piece of tape that hopefully held those up for me while I would get the cards out. And it wasn't too easy, but it worked. All right. And I could, deal just like that. Hey, look at that. See, it gives you really good cards like blackjacks and things. No, but in all seriousness, I just kind of thought to myself, how would I create a shoe that would pull things out nicely, right? Just kind of cut up a part there and had this spot for my finger, and it works really nice. And then the weight is because I needed it to kind of prop up. It was flat, which didn't work. And so I just sort of pinched this together, and that fits roughly inside of a 5-pound weight. So again, just be creative. That's what APs do, is advantage players, is we are kind of creative thinkers. We're always trying to save money and get the job done in kind of the most creative way. Just like for the discard tray, I went out to my garage. I found a couple of scrap pieces of wood or whatever this is, and I glued it together and let it set. And this is just going to make a nice right angle for when those cards all get put in the side here. And I cut out a little hole in the bottom so that my thumb can pull it off nicely. And it kind of roughly mimics this, right? I just went online and I found a picture of a discard tray, and I saw there's a little gap there. Honestly, I kind of like this one better, but eventually you might want to get these, the ones that the casinos use, because that's going to help when you get to the casino, train your eye so that you can see exactly what's going on and where the cards are at in a 6-deck discard tray, a double deck, right, and so on, whatever yours has. But until then, maybe you just have a box that you want to cut up. Right, just takes scissors and a box, and that's about all. You just need a right angle of some sort, and maybe the bottom, so that you can pull those cards and push them against your right angle to see and kind of train your eye how many cards are left in play and how many cards are in the discard tray. Okay, so with that said, I want to just give you a couple other tips. Instead of using chips, I have some half dollars here, right? Maybe quarters, doesn't really matter. And really, when you're first starting out, you probably don't even need to keep track with chips. It's more just for the aesthetics of this channel is why I have them. But I've heard, I know like Colin Jones say before, you don't really even need to play with the chips too much. You do need to know what your bet spread is. So if maybe you can film yourself and watch yourself back and just kind of, maybe you could have like a piece of paper. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. A piece of paper that, let me pull one off to the side. Here's some other projects I'm working on right now, but maybe you go to a blank sheet, which I think all these are taken. I'll just say it's here. And I would write out, maybe I'd have a list of, 1 by 50, 2 by 100, 2 by 200, 2 by 300, and so on. And as you're filming yourself playing, you can point to whichever one it was at. And instead of using chips, you can just see were you right or were you wrong when you were playing those particular parts. So this doesn't have to necessarily be an expensive thing to get into to get started, right? You don't necessarily need to have 20 sets of chips or 20 decks of cards or the nicest Monte Carlo chips or things like that. Now, if you want those eventually to practice and make your life a little bit easier, you can. If you would like to support me in that, I do have an affiliate with Casino Supply, and I know currently I think they're Their discard trays are out of stock, but I just talked with the guy. He said in less than a month they're going to be back. So depending on when you watch this, I think is going to come out a week from when I'm filming it now. So if you want to check on their website now, you might want to go to Casino Supply. And if you don't want to make one or don't trust yourself with scissors or something, you can just buy one and get a nice 6-deck discard tray from their site. Or maybe you want all your cards to look the exact same, right? I first got my cards. I know you guys hated them, but I got them off Facebook Marketplace. They were the canceled cards from a casino with a hole drilled through them. And you guys did not like the hole in those, but I got so many comments about why is there a stupid hole in your cards? And I had to explain every single time. So I thought I would just make it look a little bit more professional and get casino quality type cards. So anyway, my tip to you is that use your resources, right? You maybe make a shoe, maybe make a discard tray that's homemade and that you can kind of feel good about using, right? I know for a while there, I was pretty proud of that. I made that, with my own bare hands, and it was great to practice with. I knew kind of how things were on there. And so not kind of a fancy tip today, but just use your resources, use what's available to you. Again, we're advantage blackjack players. That's what we do, is we kind of are creative and we come up with ideas that are maybe outside the box. All right, until next time, guys, this is A1 Blackjack.